Hello everyone and welcome back to Sendik's Weather Channel, Sendik. Today we will be looking at the latest from the longer range sets of models to see what they are showing as we go through the winter period again. And before you get offended, this is just a bit of fun, alright? Don't get offended by this. If you do, leave your dislike and go away. This is only for the real cold fans. This one is a really good one and I think you'll all enjoy it. So if you do enjoy today's video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, or a spider will be under your bed tonight. So we're going to start by looking at the latest CFS to see what it is showing for the next 4 months. We're going to start November because it's showing something quite interesting. It's showing higher pressure up towards Greenland, lower pressures to the south, and we are beginning to drag in some cooler or colder air from the north or the northeast. And as you can see, winds turn into a cold northeasterly and turn things colder, actually quite cold for the time of year, with a north to northwesterly airflow. Pretty cold there. But we do see the westerly southwesterlies return for a time, actually very mild actually through November, but into start December, things start to get interesting. Higher pressure tries to send it to Scandi, but just like your girlfriend, doesn't quite get there. And as we go into the second week of December, higher pressure ridges out into the Atlantic. Ignore that one. Higher pressure ridges out into the Atlantic, lower pressure goes to the east, and winds turn into a northerly direction. We're dragging the wind or the air from a long way northwards and turning things pretty cold there and very wintry as well, with polar lows moving through the country, sliding into the DMs of the UK, bringing plenty of snow and wintry potential for particularly the north and the east as that area of low pressure slides through the North Sea, and it's pretty cold there and very wintry as well. Does eventually topple, but we see another cold plunge return, so we get a ridge build into the second week, but by the third week we're back into a cold northerly wind again. Doesn't last too long. Obviously by Christmas we have to turn it mild, default pattern of course, just common knowledge by now, but very interesting cold starts to start of December and through the middle of December as well. Pretty interesting. And then we go into a very boring westerly to southwesterly phase. Higher pressure returns over the top of the UK for a time before sinking southwards. Oh dear. Doesn't last too long though. We get very mild air through January and February, and then gets colder into March. Get a Scandi high develop, turns winds into the east, and goes very cold again, -10 into the southeast. Plenty of snow showers and snow potential there. Area of low in the flow, bringing in some snow showers there. Comparing it to the midnight run to see what it showed, well, it was very mild for November again. Brief cold snaps at times, as you'd expect. But as we head into December, higher pressure remains to the south. And eventually, by Christmas time, turns colder with winds in from the north. So just turn colder for Christmas, and maybe wintry in the north and the east, possibly around the high, but mostly pretty dry. But again, high pressure ridging, retrogressing towards Greenland, and we see colder air sink southwards by the 28th, 29th, and New Year's Day. So pretty cold again for New Year's, and brief cold spell, cold snap there. Areas of low pressure in the North Sea, tracking southwards, bringing in some colder air at times. Do you see plenty of areas of low pressure trying to move in, but on the back edges of them, lots of colder air wrapped in, so maybe some northerly winds bringing some brief cold shots through January there. With this CFS run. Again, another ridge in the Atlantic briefly, so some cold northeasterly winds. And then we see higher pressure trying to build towards Scandi. Doesn't quite get there, but we do see a brief cold snap with some frost around. Higher pressure just seems to remain out to our, or try to remain out to our west for much of this run. So into February, we're bringing back the cold northerly wind and turns things colder again. For a time, and a colder again, and a colder again. Higher pressure tries to get to Scandi again in the third week of February, and does it just about, but doesn't quite tap the cold air into the UK, and we go milder again. For of course, obviously all the cold shots appear in March, but again, interesting runs at times with cold northeasterly, northerly winds at times, probably plenty of snow around through these colder shots, and pretty interesting periods nonetheless, especially at some points of the run. Of course, we have that mega GFS run, which I'll run very quickly through. Higher pressure, which was on the other runs, allows low pressure to move in by day 10 on the 30th of October. This run keeps the high pressure out to our west, builds it up towards Greenland, and we bring down a pretty cool or cold northerly wind by the 3rd of November. So actually in a direct northerly, the origins of the air are from the Arctic, pretty far northwards, or from Siberia, I should say. pretty far northwards and pretty cold as well. -5 line through the country, bringing in even a few wintry shower potentials into the north and the east. Maybe there with some harsh overnight frost for another low drops in at the very end. But just for fun, I'll show you the chart. We'll go for the south today. But as you can see, GFS run, it's not an outlier. It's not an outlier, guys. It's there's a thick green line. That's the operational run. It's not an outlier. Just like all my videos. No, it's not an outlier. There you go. There it is. It's at the bottom of the charts. Completely, well, irrelevant, really, isn't it? It's just an irrelevant run, which is not going to verify. But who cares? I've shown it in this video now, so that means it has to, right? The AI model was actually really interesting today as well. The 6Z run, it actually built the heights towards Greenland at one point. It built them towards Scandi, extended the heights towards Scandinavia. We send it to Scandi, and we pull in some colder air from the northeast as well. High pressure makes its way towards Scandi, brings in that easterly wind for the start of November, so pretty cold there as well. So 2 charts there showing some pretty cold conditions there, which is, pretty interesting, I have to say, especially at this stage, so early. Very interesting to see. But that's all I've got to show you today. So, if you did enjoy today's video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. I do appreciate your continued support as we are on the road to 2,500 subscribers. And there's also some Send It merch coming soon. I'll get all the prices and stuff confirmed at a later date, but watch this space for the start of November, and I'll have more deets for you then. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all for another one. Bye-bye.